What links AWS, Airtable, Appian, Asana, Bizaji, Boomi, Camunda, Firestart, Flowable, Google, IBM, Microsoft, MuleSoft, Oracle, Pegasystems, Room, Salesforce, SAP, ServiceNow, SnapLogic, TrackVia, Tibco, Zapier, and Zoho? The answer is that they're all talking about flow. And this is just the tip of the iceberg. There are dozens of other vendors competing for attention and money in this space, but they're not all doing the same thing. My name's Neil Ward-Dutton. I work for IDC in Europe, leading our AI and our business automation practices. And in these weekly short videos, I'm talking about recent research we've done, ideas we're exploring, and conversations we're having. I've been analyzing this area of business software, workflow, for well over 15 years. And for a chunk of that time, workflow, frankly, was unsexy, but now it is definitely back. Just in the last couple of weeks, we've seen announcements from Salesforce, Google, and SAP about new products or features focused on workflow. It seems like everyone is doing it. But with a bit of perspective, it's easy to see that in reality, these things aren't all the same. And I'm not just talking about the natural differences you'd find in features and functions across a bunch of competitors. I'm talking about differences in fundamental design starting points. In reality, there are multiple segments to the overall space that we might call flow or workflow. And there are many different ways we could try and segment this, but here's one that I think is useful. The vertical dimension shows two types of approaches and focus. In the upper half, we have tools that are designed around the needs and interests of specialist developers, and they typically emphasize flexibility and extensibility and promote their ability to tackle really quite complicated use cases. In the lower half, we have tools that are designed more around the interests of generalists, and they're focused on helping them deliver results quickly and with as little effort as possible. They're more likely to be best aligned to relatively simple use cases. The horizontal dimension is more about how tools focus on particular mixes of actors that are ultimately involved in flows. On the far left of the diagram, we have tools that are primarily focused on flows that link systems and systems. In these flows, people are rarely involved. Here we're talking about, for example, synchronizing lead data between a marketing automation platform and a CRM system, or perhaps driving integration between multiple source systems and a data warehouse. This column is, in practice, largely filled up with what you might think of as application or data integration platforms. But more and more, the vendors in this space are talking in terms of flow and workflow. In the middle column, we've got tools that focus on the kinds of workflows that will often orchestrate activities and pass data between a number of systems, but will very often also require activities to be carried out by people, either individually or in teams. And this column is in practice largely filled up with what you might think of as classic business process automation or digital workflow platforms. On the right-hand column, we've got tools that focus primarily on providing structure and insight on top of what's more commonly thought of as collaboration. So here you might typically find task management, lightweight project planning or project management, and team collaboration platforms. I'm not going to place vendors on this diagram, at least not for this video, although I might do it in a separate post soon. If you think that would be useful, just let me know. But if you go through that mapping process, though, it soon becomes clear that, for example, Google Workflow, Room by SAP, and Salesforce Automation, all of which were promoted in the last couple of weeks, populate very, very different parts of this overall landscape. Thanks very much for watching. Please let me know what you think. And as always, if you enjoyed this, please like, share, and subscribe. And I will see you again soon. Cheers.